He was my babysitter for 8 months while my mother was in a hospital. And he would have to take care of me after school. And I think he thought that was just terrible. He was never going to grow up and have children.
Before he joined the Capuchins when he was 17, the old Jewish tailor who used to fix his suits, he said, "I don't know a lot about the Capuchins. I have one piece of advice. Be a good boy." And that's how I'd see Father Benedict. Like, what you saw on TV was what it was like when I drove him all over the place. And I said to him, "Father, I would love to work with you more." And he said, "Let me work things out." And sure enough, it all got worked out.
Jesus Christ was his best friend, his personal best at all times. He remained loyal to everyone, and his friendships went deep and were lasting. He loved people, and he cared deeply. He never gave up on anybody, because he knew Jesus Christ would never give up on any one of us.
Father Benedict worked with many difficult issues, and yet I always was amazed how Father Benedict stayed compassionate, stayed kind, and retained his sense of humor.
He loved the hippopotamus because he said, "The hippo reminds us that God has a sense of humor." There was a family, they raised a little fawn, and the deer would come and eat out of his hand.
He was living the life of St. Francis the best he could, dealing with our modern world, which is not so easy. And that's why wherever he set up a friary, it was always in a poor area, because those were the people that he wanted to help the most.
Father Benedict was truly dedicated to working with the poor. He'd go out of his way to find creative ways to reach out to them. And he would have been thrilled with this Pope because of his outreach to the poor.
He loved the children of the poor the most, I believe, because he was trying to find a way to give them hope for a good future.
They would scream and jump when they would see him coming through the door. They thought it was Santa Claus, of course, because he'd have over his back a big bag of gifts. No one asked him to go. He had a sense of where they were. He could tell where the need was. And in a sense, we were all the poorest of the poor to Father Benedict, because he reached out to us wherever we had a wound, wherever we needed healing. He could sense it. That was one of his gifts.
Everything he ever did came totally from his heart, and he used his mind and his will to find people who could help him do those things.
I think that was the fruit of Good Counsel Homes. That, however it started, we just probably said to Chris Bell, let's start, you know? This is a need that's apparent. Maybe we don't have all the answers, but if it's worthy of doing, let's do it.
Mother Teresa told him that God has plenty of money. You just have to know where to look for it.
In a holy way, he was driven. And it wasn't about any applause. He was always in a rush because he didn't feel he had a moment to waste.
And he would also, no matter where he was, would say, "What's your name?"
You know what Letitia means, don't you?
No.
Happiness.
Happiness.
And look at this guy, he's smiling too. What's his name?
He wanted to know everything about everybody, and he would stare them in the eye and he would listen.
And who is this, Carla?
Elisa.
Elisa. Elisa. And you know, Elisa in English is Alice. Hello.
Yes.
Look at that nice smile. You just have to be patient with me. I'm very old.
People are still drawn to him. What was it? What sets him apart? He was led by grace. Jesus Christ was first in his life. And that's what life is all about. That's the whole meaning. And he had it in spades.
Saint Vincent de Paul wrote, "Love the poor, and your life will be filled with sunlight, and you will not be frightened at the hour of death.
When we die and we go to heaven,
Not be
he
frightened.
goes, look for the sign that says lost. He goes, that's where I'll be with all my friends from Jersey City. And it was that kind of humility that always attracted me to him. And I brought my son here today to pray at Father Benedict's crypt because he's about to start college.
In our culture, it's sliding away from maybe what's good and holy. He didn't swim upstream, but he powerboated upstream to cut through right to the heart and to challenge those who, if they challenge us, well, let's challenge them right back, you know, and real strong, good-natured.
My brother always said to me, you are the church, and all you need to do is follow Jesus Christ, and you'll be fine. And he always said that.
Every time we left the nursing home, he'd always go to make a visit to Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. And so even that last, after he passed away on October 3rd, we went and I stopped the nursing staff, medical. I said, we'd always make a visit to the chapel. Can we take his body one more time to the chapel before we leave? And we did so. And I just felt like he had finished his mission.